Greetings, fellow humans. If you are new here, my name is Trinity, and I am exploring lesser-known fairy tales from cultures that maybe don't get as much attention as Grimm's, Andersen's, all those. Today, we do have another story from the First Peoples of Australia. Before we get into that, I do want to note, sorry about how everything looks. We're at that stage of channel growth where the audio hopefully gets better, and for a little while, the visuals suffer. But it's only up from here, guys. Okay, let's see. Today our story is Dinewan the man changes to Dinewan the emu, and there's just one word that I want to define up front, and that is Mingah, Minggah, and that is a spirit tree. It'll come up. Okay, without further ado. Dinewan the man changes to Dinewan the emu. One tribe once stole up to another tribe at night, and surprising them, slaughtered many. Afterwards, a singer of the slaughtered tribe made a song in which he sang of the dead of his enemies, the mention of whom was considered a cruel insult. A singer of the insulted tribe then arose. He, too, had made a song. In his song, he sang of all the dead of the other tribe. Then, when the anger of both tribes was rekindled by these insults, a big fight took place in which all those whose dead had been mentioned fought. One man did not join the fight, for none of his dead had been mentioned. But in the general confusion, someone's spear struck him on the chest, and he fell dead. His mother rushed to him, calling, "Who's killed my son? Who has killed my son?" But no one knew. Her tribe came round her, but she waved her arms and said, "Go, all of you. Leave my son to me." Still, they pressed around her. She turned in fury on them, and by the force of her rage drove them from her. They fled and left her with her dead. Leaning over her son, she saw that his spirit had left his body. Knowing the location of his Mingah, she went to search for it there. For 3 days she watched that Mingah. For 3 days she walked ceaselessly around it, and on the third day she found the spirit of her son. She took it and put it back into the body from which she had already extracted the spear, the head of which had left a deep cut at the top of her son's chest. When the spirit was back in the man, he arose and followed his mother to rejoin their tribe. As her relations saw the mother coming toward them, they raised their voices in death song. She silenced them, saying, "Why do you wail? My son lives." "Not so," they said. "We left him dead. Did you not bury him?" "No, he is alive. He is there. You, young girl, go and see your relation. He is sitting down over there." The girl ran in the direction indicated, and soon the tribe heard a joyful cry of recognition from her. One after another, all of them followed her and saw what she had seen, the relative they had left dead sitting alive before them. They cried out loud, "Dugandi, Gurandi, Nai," which meant, "Glad to see you, uncle." But to their joyful greetings he made no answer, and as they came nearer, he rose to his feet and turned to run away. Even as he turned, they saw the man bend and saw his body change, transforming into the largest bird they had ever seen, the bird now known on the plains as Dinewan, which had been the man's name, and which bird has a dent at the top of its chest, even as the spear would make it in the chest of the man, Dinewan. The end. Okay, so in this story, we are being introduced to some of the death rites of the first Australians. If you can hear that thunder, I apologize. One thing to note about Aboriginal culture is that they are buried twice. During the first stage, I assume it's shallower. The spirit is thought to be able to come and go, kind of come to terms with the situation. And then the second stage, after a few days, they are laid to rest permanently. And at that point, it is thought that the spirit has retreated entirely into the spiritual realm. To make sure that this goes as planned and the person doesn't end up just roaming the earth as a disembodied spirit, it is vital to not speak their name. In this story, we can see at the beginning the singing about the dead. The issue is not that it's arguably in poor taste, but rather that they are singing the names of a dead person. So their spirit may very well just be trapped in the mortal realm, but disembodied and presumably miserable. So to make sure that this goes okay, they are very, very strict about the no speaking names of people policy. For example, if there is a man named Possum and he dies, not only are we not ever going to say Possum in the context of him, we would also change the animal Possum's name to fancy. So instead of a herd of possums, you have a herd of fancies. And I just thought that was a pretty cool commitment that would definitely only work in very small populations, because I can't imagine trying to get that around. You're like, hey, everybody, we've changed this word this week. Get on board. In any case, in this story, we can see that Dinewan's death is an indirect, tragic consequence of the people singing the names in this story. The question I want to leave everyone this week is it better to have time-based rituals to deal with death and grief? My family personally is not religious or spiritual or anything like that, so we don't have death rituals to really comfort us, and there's no expiration date on grief. And I'm just wondering if maybe this is one of the benefits of religion and spirituality, in that it gives you a course to follow as you're navigating through your grief and your loss. So yeah, I'm curious to see what everyone else thinks about their death rituals and how they compare to ours, or, yours personally. So down in the comments, let me know. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. Not to brag, but we do have 25 subscribers now. So, join them. Be 26. You could be 26. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.